Sam Heughan had always embraced challenges in his career, but stepping into the role of Macbeth for the Royal Shakespeare Company felt different. It wasn't just another acting job, it was an opportunity to prove himself on one of the most prestigious stages in the world. From the moment the casting was announced, the buzz was electric. Outlander fans flooded ticket sites. Theatre critics speculated about how he would handle Shakespeare's tragic king. But almost immediately, another conversation began, one that had nothing to do with his performance. The rumor mill turns relentless. It started subtly. A few speculative posts online about Sam's relationship with his co-star, Leah Williams. Then, the gossip spread like wildfire. Entertainment blogs ran suggestive headlines. Social media accounts shared grainy backstage photos and took them wildly out of context. Soon, it wasn't just a few curious whispers. It was a constant hum, one that followed him into interviews, rehearsals, and even casual public appearances. During one promotional interview, a reporter slipped in a question about off-stage chemistry. Sam brushed it off, but the clip went viral with captions like, "He's hiding something." The comments section became a feeding ground for speculation. Pressure behind the curtain. Inside the RSC rehearsal rooms, Sam remained professional. He drilled his lines, worked tirelessly on fight choreography, and collaborated closely with the cast. But those closest to him began to notice small changes. He was quieter during breaks. His phone buzzed constantly with notifications he didn't check. He'd stay later than necessary, running scenes alone after everyone else had left. A fellow cast member later admitted. You could see it weighing on him. It wasn't the work. He loved the work. It was everything outside of it that was exhausting him. Physical signs of strain. The toll wasn't just emotional. In the weeks leading up to the premiere, Sam looked noticeably tired. His once energetic rehearsals were punctuated with moments where he'd pause, take a deep breath, and collect himself. The crew began quietly adjusting schedules, giving him more breaks between intense scenes. When asked, Sam would smile and say he was fine, just pushing himself to deliver the best Macbeth possible. But behind closed doors, friends urged him to slow down. He didn't listen. The day it happened. It was supposed to be a high-profile evening performance, an audience packed with critics, VIPs, and a handful of celebrity guests. Sam arrived at the theater early, as always, but something was off. A stagehand later recalled. He was pale, not just tired, pale. But he said it was nothing. That he'd shake it. As curtain time approached, Sam went through his warm-up, but halfway through, he gripped the breaking point. 15 minutes before. The company medic was called. In the news leaks out. The RSC issued a brief announcement before the show began, saying, an audience member spotted Sam leaving through a side entrance, flanked by staff, and posted it to social media with the caption, "Sam Heughan just left, something's wrong." Within an hour, entered. Sam Heughan hospitalized hours before. Fans concerned after Heughan's suddenly exit. The cliffhanger. By the time Sam was admitted for observation, the online speculation had exploded. Some blamed the intense schedule. Others tied it, unfairly, to the months of gossip, suggesting the constant scrutiny had finally taken its toll. What no one expected was the person who would walk into that hospital room before the night was over, and change the story completely. Sam lay in a private recovery room, hooked up to fluids, the white noise of hospital machinery filling the silence. His phone was face down on the bedside table. The last thing he wanted was to scroll through a flood of speculative headlines. The door opened quietly. Sam looked up, expecting a nurse. Instead, there she was, Caitríona Balfe, his Outlander co-star and longtime friend, still in her coat from the evening chill. The moment that changed the story. She didn't say much at first, just stepped forward, placed a hand on his shoulder, and gave him a look that said, "I'm here." No questions asked. Sam's voice was hoarse. How did you? I heard, Caitríona interrupted softly. Didn't matter how. I wasn't going to sit home wondering. The two shared a quiet moment, the kind that didn't need cameras or witnesses to carry meaning. But as it turned out, witnesses weren't far away. Fans catch wind. A hospital visitor, clearly an Outlander fan, spotted Caitríona in the hallway and posted a quick update on social media. Just saw Caitríona Balfe at the hospital visiting Sam Heughan. She looked worried but determined. These two are the real deal, friendship goals. Within minutes, hashtags like #Sam and Caitríona and #OutlanderFamily started trending. The tone of the conversation shifted from speculation about Sam's condition to admiration for Caitríona's loyalty. The media pivot. By morning, entertainment headlines had taken on a different tone. Caitríona Balfe rushes to Sam Heughan's side after hospitalization. From co-stars to lifelong friends, Balfe's support for Heughan moves fans. The photos that emerged weren't paparazzi ambush shots. They were fan-snapped moments of Caitríona leaving the hospital, smiling politely despite the late hour. The narrative had shifted, no longer about the rumors that had dogged Sam for months, but about a friendship that had endured fame, distance, and the grind of show business. Behind the scenes, lifting the weight. Inside the hospital, Caitríona stayed for hours. They talked about everything but the rumors, old Outlander memories, future projects, even silly inside jokes that broke the tension. At one point, Sam admitted quietly, "I've handled tough press before, but this time, it felt like I was drowning in it." Caitríona didn't hesitate. "That's because you've been carrying it alone. You don't have to." Her words landed like a lifeline. It wasn't just the illness, it was the exhaustion of months of constant scrutiny. And in that room, for the first time in weeks, Sam felt the pressure ease. The health update. 2 days later, the RSC issued an official update. Sam Heughan experienced fatigue and dehydration due to his demanding schedule. He is recovering well and will return to the stage following medical clearance. Sam followed it with his own social media post, a smiling photo from his hospital bed, Caitríona sitting beside him holding a coffee. Grateful for the care, the messages, and especially for this one showing up unannounced. I'm lucky in more ways than one. The post racked up hundreds of thousands of likes and comments, with fans praising both his resilience and Caitríona's gesture. Fan reactions. Comment sections across platforms were filled with messages like, "This is why we love them. Genuine friendship in a world full of fake headlines. Forget the rumors. This is the real story. Protect Sam and Caitríona at all costs." Even entertainment bloggers who had previously fed into the gossip found themselves running pieces about the heartwarming hospital visit. The return to the stage. When Sam finally returned to the theater the following week, there was an unspoken shift in the energy. The cast and crew greeted him with warmth, the press coverage was overwhelmingly positive, and ticket holders sent get-well cards that filled his dressing room. On stage, his Macbeth carried a new layer. Not just the fury and ambition of Shakespeare's tragic king, but the grounded presence of an actor who had been reminded of what truly mattered. A quiet goodbye. On her last night in town before returning to her own projects, Caitríona slipped into the theater to watch Sam perform. She stayed out of sight, blending into the back row, but Sam spotted her during curtain call. Later, in the empty dressing room, he hugged her and said simply, "You turned it all around." Caitríona smiled. "You just needed someone to remind you of who you are. That's all." Closing reflection. In the ruthless churn of celebrity gossip, a person's story can be twisted beyond recognition. For Sam Heughan, weeks of rumor and speculation had chipped away at his focus, his energy, and his health. But one act of friendship, unplanned, genuine, and rooted in years of trust, rewrote the ending. In the end, the headlines faded. The performance went on, and the only lasting image was of a man recovering in a hospital bed, smiling beside the friend who showed up when it mattered most.